So we're on the driver's side now. I got the wheel hub off. I got the spring out, and so I got the wheel, the front ball joint loose and everything. And here it is to take the control arm out, the 15/16 socket. And to loosen it up, like I said, I put that on it. I take a hammer and beat it, and that loosens it up for me, so I can put a wrench on the other end and get those loose. And on the front part, I do the same thing. I just break it, and then I can take my impact and get that one loose. So that's how we get those control arms loose. You can actually see the failure. There it is right there, holding the boot right there. Allowed sand to get in there and just ruined that. That is not supposed to be able to move like that. Bad lower control arm there. That was metal on metal right there. No lubrication whatsoever inside there. That's bad. Now here's the new driver's side, which would be the left lower control arm with the ball joint. I can't even move it. I can't even move it. See? That's how tight that thing is supposed to be. And then once again, we look at the bushing. Nice and solid. I can't even budge that thing. So that's what a good control arm is supposed to be like. So now we're going to mount this up in here, but we're going to put this protective cover over it until we're ready to mount it to make sure we don't damage that boot. Alright, let's assess where we're at with the 95 Mustang GT. We're doing the power racket pinion. We're doing the lower control arms with the new ball joints. We got the outer tie rod ends also. And so let's see where we're at here. This is the driver's side. And we have the new A-frame in. We have the wheel hub connected. We got the lower ball joint connected to the spindle there. We left the springs underneath because we're waiting on the energy suppressing coil spring isolator boots to arrive tomorrow. So we have to leave that like that, so we have room to put the springs in. And same thing over on the passenger side. Same thing. And we're just going to leave it like that and wait until we get that part to come in. We'll leave her sitting like that. And so we got the control arms and everything is torqued and tightened down. We got to put the other control arm back in on the other side. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the racket pinions in the new one, because we've got these front bolts tightened right here. That's on the lower control arms. That would be in the way, the racket pinion. So we're going to tighten that down. We got that tightened. So what we got to do now is we're going to pull this out with some what do you call those things, needle nose pliers. And then we're going to take a wrench. We're going to take this return line off. We're going to use the proper O-ring and the supply washer, and we're going to tighten that back down here. Then we go underneath the car. We're going to pull this off and put the O-ring down in there, and then the copper washer up top. And then we're going to tighten down the high pressure hose for the power steering, and then we're going to slide the rack up in position, get everything nice and tight, and then we're going to connect the shaft right here, tighten that to 40 foot-pounds, and we're going to stop at that point because that's about all that we can do until those energy suppressing isolator springs come in tomorrow. Once you get the tiny O-ring down there and you get the little white washer on, I would put some sealant on here to be on the safe side, some Teflon sealant, because this will leak. So you just need just a little wrap around there, do it. And on both the low pressure, the return line, and also the high pressure line, so it won't leak. Okay, we got the power steering lines back in place. We got the proper gaskets and the little O-rings in there. We got it tightened down pretty good. Now we got the racket pinion going in and into the seals back there. So we're using a little mallet to beat them in place like that till it goes all the way back. So that's what we're doing, and the racket pinion will be installed. So on the racket pinion, we got the washer and the washer here and a bolt in the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and put a wrench on the back and get our impact gun on the front, and we're going to let the bolt pull the racket pinion in and lock it in place to where it's supposed to be, so we can have room to take the racket pinion loose. So we put that bracket back up and we attach this line back to low pressure line. We got the racket pinion bolted in place, and all we got left to do is that end link over there. We got to put that end link on this side, and we'll be done for the night. We got the control arms in place, the ball joints tightened up down there, and the springs are holding them up so they don't fall down. So we're gonna put that other end link bushing in there, and we're gonna clean up and call it a night. And hopefully tomorrow the energy suppressing isolator springs will be in, and we can take those black ones off and put the red ones on, and we can set them down in the control arm and get the control arm tightened back up to the shock and mount the ABS sensor to it and get the tires on, get everything all lined up tomorrow with the tie rods. And then we got the rear brakes to do on this tomorrow. So that's it. Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. God bless. Like and subscribe. Day 2, Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. We're working with the 05, or should I say 95 Mustang GT 5.0. Our energy suppression coil spring isolator bushings have come in. These go over the top of the coil, and these go on the bottom. It just slides around the loop. And so we're going to get ready to install these on the Mustang and complete the front end, and hopefully get most of the front end tied up tonight. It's like 5:30. The part came in on the last FedEx truck around 5, so we got a late start here in the afternoon, so we'll see how far we get. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just pop the old one out of place off top, slide the old one off on the bottom, and then on the bottom you just put it in the loop and slide it all the way around until you see the end, and the one on the top you just press down on the top. Nothing hard, simple stuff. So now what we do, we just carefully lower the jack, and right down in here you'll see where the coil spring hits the stopper right there. You got to make sure you turn it, and the end of the spring hits the bottom right there, and of course the top just goes up into the top. So we got the shocks in with the isolator on the bottom and the top, and we make sure that our bottom spring is right where it needs to be on that part. And we got our bolts back in from the shock mount, and we're getting ready to hook that back up with this line here with the ABS sensor, and then we'll connect the connecting rod and we'll hook up the end links. One detail I'll share with you is that little ABS sensor. Put that in before you connect the strut tower to the wheel hub, because there won't be no room to get that in. So make note of that. Okay, let's recap. We got the driver, passenger coil in with the new energy suppression coil spring isolators. Okay, we've got the shock or strut tower hooked back to the wheel hub. We have the control arms all bolted up with the ball joint. We got the tie rod ends all connected. Of course, the racket pinion is already hooked up, and everything, all the lines are hooked up to the racket pinion. So now we got the rotors on already. So we got the pinch bolt put back in. So now all we got to do is the tie rod ends on here, and get these things as close to alignment as possible. Remember, they were 23 turns on each side. So we're going to get ready to do that now. So our tie rod comes with new hardware. Here's the new tie rod, the outer, new castle nut, carter pin, and here's the nut that tightens up when you get the correct amount of turns on the tie rod up to the end of the tie rod. So I'm going to take this old bolt off and use the new bolt. Always use new hardware when you get it. We are done. I think I got the wheels pretty much aligned as I can get. That is the passenger side. That is the driver's side. So we still got it jacked up in the air because we have to get some Marcon transmission fluid to fill the power steering up, and then bleed the system, and then we have to do the rear brakes, and we'll be done with this baby. Rev it up, Mustang Fanatic Productions, Mechanic Edition. See, the 99 Cobra and 99 and up use Marcon 2. And 98 and earlier model use this regular Micron transmission fluid, and you can't mix the two. So I don't have any Micron transmission fluid for this vehicle, so tomorrow we'll pick some up.